Good morning, everybody. It's Melanie from Hometown Paints. Let me make sure I have the volume up so everybody can hear. I have my fan on because it's hot as heck in Tennessee today. So let me get that in a better place. I hope you all are doing well. So I'm going live in a few different locations. I'm going live on my Facebook page, Hometown Paints, and in Creatives Coast to Coast, which is another Facebook page, and on YouTube. So depending on where you're watching me from, I might tell you to go to another place so that you can get the supplies. All right, today we are going to paint this fun little flamingo. I almost said rooster. I don't know what. Because it's Monday morning, y'all. All right, so we're going to make this video. And if you are in Coast to Coast Creatives group already, you saw Karen with Over the Artsy Moon, and she showed you how to get your tracer on your canvas. So I'm not going to take time to do that. But I did give you this printout of this flamingo, and you would need some of this carbon paper to get that on there. So let's just get started. I actually painted this on an 11 by 14, but guess what? Monday morning, I don't have any 11 by 14 canvases. I painted all of them. So I trace it on, hey Karen, I trace it on, let me see, it's a 12 by 16 and it looks just fine. So we're just going to go for it, y'all. All right, so I gave you a paint list that had like a zillion paints on it. And if you were like, I ain't buying all those paints, don't worry about it. Just do the best you can. The first one I'm going to use is the sky color that I picked out. And this is actually an old paint that I have. Let me see if I can get it on there. It's good old apple barrel paint from Walmart. It's called Blue Bonnet. It's just a light blue. So nothing fancy. Just pick out a sky color that you like. And then get some white out there too. All right, I'm going to use, I don't know what I did to this brush. I just got it. Darn it. Anyways, I'm going to use a larger flat brush. I don't think it's an inch because I have, anyways, that's what I'm going to use. I've got my water and my paper towel and all that good stuff. And I'm going to decide where I want my horizon line. And I just know that I don't want it like, I don't know, lining up with his back or whatever. But if you just painted Karen's and you're like, you're going to put these right next to each other on the wall, then you might want to like line the horizon lines up on both of them. Just a thought. But I'm just taking some of that blue and white, and I think I want it right here. But that's in the middle of the canvas now that I'm seeing it. Maybe I don't want it right there. Maybe I want it up here. See, this is a good thing about painting with acrylics. You can just do whatever you want to. So I've got blue and white on my brush. So I will just get like literally like, see, they're both on there. And I'm not going to worry about what's happening. I'm just going to paint. I'm just going to paint. So I hope y'all are having a good Monday. My thought to my fellow artsy ladies is, why do we pick a Monday? We'll be okay, right? So I still just that one color blue and white. If you just like throw it down and it'll blend together on the canvas. Let me move all this. And it'll just kind of give you that wispy looking cloud if you want it. Like if you want to leave more white in there, you can. It's however you want it to be, you guys. That's what I'm saying. You could paint one of these and use this tracer and it could look completely different from what I do. And that's awesome, actually. It's not just fun, it's awesome. So I'm not going to overlap my flamingo. I almost called it a penguin. I cannot get the animals right today. I'm not going to overlap completely because there's really just no need to. It's kind of a waste to paint. But I am going to overlap it just a tad because you don't want to end up with a spot of unpainted canvas right there once we start painting our flamingo. So overlap just a tad. You probably want to paint the edges of your canvas too, but I'll just go back later and do that for the sake of time. I'm just making like long paint strokes. So just kind of look at it. If you're like, that's too white, add some more blue. I'm going to dip my brush in the water a little bit to help drag this paint along. If it's too blue, guess what? Add some more white. So Karen provided you guys with a little bit more tracers than I did, but since we're doing the same kind of light, I'm just going to show you how to draw it on there. But if you don't want to draw it on there, you can use Karen's tracer. Thank you, Karen. Let's see. Oh yes, because it is 5 months till Christmas. You're right. It's been a Monday. It's been a Monday kind of Monday. Rosie said, "Can I see you later?" Of course you can, Rosie. This video will be saved in all the places that it's being shown. You can just go back later, look in the video section, and watch it and paint whenever you want to. But thank y'all for hanging out with me. All right, so I painted that and didn't want it there, but oh, you know what? I forgot that part. Never fails. This part has to be blue. It's right under his little, or her, his or her. I don't know what it is today. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Get some blue in there too, so it still looks like the sky. Okay, back to my previous conversation. I am using Folk Art Navajo Turquoise to add some depth at the very back of my water. And then what else did I use? I think I used Folk Art Adrift. I know that's on your, I went through this morning and actually picked out the actual paint that I told y'all to buy. But you can use whatever you want to. So it's basically like a dark turquoise and a light turquoise. But again, if you've been watching, Karen showed you a different way to paint the water. So now you have like two different ways to do it. All right, so I'm going to use that same brush and I'm just going to like, I just call it, I'm like smushing it in. Laying my brush down so it makes like a wide, it covers a wide area. And I'm just going to go probably like, go down maybe a ½ inch-ish and go up to that sky line right there, that horizon line. And then without washing my brush out, I'm going to grab some of this lighter paint, lighter turquoise. It's kind of mint colored actually. And I'm going to start painting that in there. And that blue from earlier where I messed up is in there, but it's okay. We're going to paint right over it and it's just going to blend. We aren't going to worry about it. Folk Art is kind of a thicker paint. So if you start covering up your lines, it might be hard to see, but you do want to overlap just a tad. And you want to also, like I'm going to go ahead and do this whole line across here because I want to get this lighter part in there while this darker is still wet so it will blend. Hopefully that made sense. I'm laying my brush down and wiggling it like this. Doot, 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 doot. But making sure there's paint on it first. And just going back and forth. And cover that up. So I got that line up there. I can go back and play with it. Like if it's too stark of a line, I can grab some more of that dark and just kind of play with it, mix it in. Same kind of paint stroke. You could just play with it and like throw it in there. Starting to look like water. Hey, Elizabeth. How is everybody? I think I was shaking on the cameras. So you can grab some white and throw some white in there. And leave it kind of thick if you want. And it looks like the water's, I don't know, like the waves are crashing or whatever. I'm from Tennessee. I don't know. So y'all tell me where you are from. That's what we could talk about. I live near Nashville, Tennessee, so like Middle Tennessee. Lived here most all my life. I lived in Indiana for like a minute. It was really 9 months, but it felt like a minute. Elizabeth said, looks like Florida water. You know what? It probably is Florida water because we'll say it's Florida water because I have been to other beaches. We were talking about travel. Well, Karen was talking about traveling, so why don't I carry on the conversation? We go to Florida a lot. Around here, we didn't go this year, but that's kind of what I picture in my head when I think of beach, is like this turquoisey water. Even though, like, we've been, where else did we go? I have been to South Carolina. I've been up to like Michigan and been to the Great Lake beaches, if you want to call that a beach. Karen says, I love to travel everywhere. Seems like a perfect conversation. Yes, I talk about it all the time, and my husband's like, nobody cares, Melanie. But I have to tell you a story. Anyways, where else did I go to the beach? I've actually been to the beach, like that conversation that Rebecca and Karen were having about Europe. I've been to Europe 4 times, and so I've seen the Mediterranean Sea, and then I don't even know what sea it was. We were in Barcelona, and I was like not putting on a bathing suit because it just wasn't that kind of day. But we hung out on the beach and like, put our feet in it. And I don't actually know what body of water that was, but if anybody else knows, feel free to chip in. Barcelona water somewhere, some kind of beachy. All right. So I have gone down. Does that look like water? I have gone down. I'm not going to do this part because that's his little flamingo booty. But you want to take it all the way down here. And you can go back with white or even that dark in places if you want to. And just add a little bit. Just kind of, I don't know, scratch it in there. And it'll look oceany. It'll look oceany and beachy. All right, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it like it is. Here's what I like to do when you don't have to do it, but it kind of saves your water from getting gross. When this is full of paint, like I offload the paint on my paper towel and then put it in the water. It does help a little bit. Jeannie says she loves the beach, but have not been once this year. Do you live near the beach, Jeannie? I haven't been once this year either. We went to Washington, D.C. as our big vacation this year, and it was the hottest temperature on the planet, but we had fun. We had lots of fun. I got a Facebook user says, "Hey Melanie," so hey to you. But I am using StreamYard today, so if you want good old Facebook to show me your name, you have to give StreamYard permission to show it or something. I don't know. It's always something in it. All right, so I already used that blue. I'm getting out the colors right now for the Flamingo. So I got out Wildberry from DecoArt, which is this, it almost looks red, but it's like it's a fun pink. I'm going to use, I thought I cleaned all this off yesterday. I'm going to use this coral color, which is Coral Blush from DecoArt. I'm going to use, I'm going to use Hot Pink from Folk Art. And it says hot pink, but that's not really hot pink to me. Kind of looks like it there, but anyways. I found this one that's called Dragon Fruit, and I don't think I put that on your list, but it looked like I needed to use it today. And Cactus Flower. So, moral of this story, moral of how to paint a flamingo story, get out lots of pinks, corals. I like to put coral. You don't have to put coral. You need white, you need bright pink, you need different color pinks and corals. So if you don't have all 5 of these paints that I suggested, don't worry about it. Just get you some pinks and corals out and you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to I call it a medium round brush. You could use a medium angle brush, a medium flat brush, but you just want one that's not really big like the one we just used and not one that's really small. Okay, I'm going to get it wet. Thank you, Karen. I hope it's beautiful water. I'm going to jump in it. Jeannie said she's close to the beach. Well, Jeannie, why have you not got in that water, girl? Need to drink water. All right, so I'm going to start. What do I want to start with? I'm going to start with the darker pink. And I'm going to start just filling in. Now, let me tell you, if you are painting along with me and you aren't in a heat wave where your paint dries immediately, you're probably going to want to dry this paint around the bird before you start painting. You might not have to, but you don't want to drag blues and greens into your pinks. Really, you don't. All right, so I like to paint, like to outline the edges. I'm just using my dark pink. I think it's the Wildberry. And then I'm just going to do like short, choppy little marks, little paint strokes. And I'll just kind of give you the idea. All the way down the bird. And then it's going to kind of shift up and down. And yeah. So that's kind of the pattern that we're following for the whole time on this bird. And those are the kind of marks that I'm going to make. From time to time, I will like make an outline around some of these edges and then go back in and fill it in with those kind of marks. If you do that, it starts to sort of look like feathers, even though this layer, we're just using one color of paint. So it's going to blend together. It's going to be harder to see. I still want you to do it though. outline. Jeannie says she's just been busy. Well, I totally understand that. How late in the year do you guys actually visit the beach, Jeannie? Like, can you go? We were talking about weather and stuff, and when it actually like gets cool here, and it doesn't really get cool here most of the time until the end of October. Like even sometimes on Halloween, people are wearing shorts. So, how late can y'all do some beach swimming? I'm curious. All right. I think sometimes I paint like I learn to color. I outline it first and then fill it back in. Sometimes. All right. This is not an exciting part, but it's necessary. So what are y'all doing today on this Monday? Anybody doing anything fun? Once I get done with this, I have to like make doctor's appointments and do all these things. My kids start school in 2 weeks. So I told my 14-year-old the other day, I said, you do realize school starts in 2 weeks? And he said, what? He said, no, in 2 weeks? I said, yeah. I said, sorry I didn't like warn you, but yeah, 2 weeks. So do all the fun stuff you want to do immediately. But now I went out of town with my other creative coast to coast girls, Erica and Rose. We went to Indiana last week. We went to a retreat for well, it's my like door hanger supplier, and I guess that's who they and Erica lights. That's where we get our door hangers from. Hey Karen, what seems early? What was I talking about? What was I talking about, Karen? Anyways, it was okay. I don't know where we were. We were at the bottom of Indiana. I don't know what actual Indiana place I was in, but it was right across the river, I guess, from Louisville or however you guys want to say it. But yeah, we went over to Louisville and went to the art museum and ate at some fun restaurants, and then we just did door hanger paintings for 3 days straight. So that was fun. It was fun. We got to meet lots of people, and remember, this is going to go this way. This is going to go like it's just going to like curve and turn. And this like kind of like that. I hope that helps you guys. Oh, school's starting. Yes. I was like, the weather or what? Yeah, it is early, and it stresses me out every year, and I don't even have to go teach there anymore. I'm stressed out for my children. They say this is what they tell us because, back when I went to school, back in my day, don't you love it when people say that? I think we started after, what is it? Labor Day. After Labor Day. But my poor children do not get that luxury. But they tell us that we have to start so early because we have a full week off in October for a fall break, and then we have a full week off in March for spring break. So I'm not the kind of girl who's like, I just believe it. I gotta like look it up. So one day when I get some free time, I'm gonna like look up and see if that's true. If other places around the country are not getting full weeks off like that. and starting later. Anyways, it is early. It's still hot. It is, oh God, it's so hot. So hot. Nobody's thinking about school. Nobody's thinking about doing anything except staying in the air conditioning and like maybe going swimming because it's hot. All right, this is taking a lot of paint. What time is it? Okay. We're gonna get it done. It's because I'm using a bigger canvas. Because I was out of town last week and I'm not prepared. Okay, choppy, 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 choppy. Let's get it covered. Let's get it covered. So if you guys paint mine and Karen's, I need to see them hanging in your house. I need to see how you styled them on your wall. Okay, so you could paint this with a smaller brush, but as you can imagine, it might take you a longer amount of time. Like if you're doing these short, choppy little marks. Blob, blob, blob. It'll take you forever if you have a smaller brush. Okay, it's covered. Woo! All right, now I'm going to tell you just to kind of have fun. You're going to go back in and start adding some more of these marks. But since we use our darkest color, that's going to give it some depth, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And most of these colors are going to show up pretty well because they're lighter. I'm not going to wash my brush out. So I've got corals and light pinks and bright pinks, and you can do white. I'm just like jumping around, and I'm still going to follow that curve. Just throw these things in there. What color paint am I painting with? I'm painting with about 20 different if you're watching me in Creatives Coast to Coast, there is colorless and tracer provided for you, so you can see the exact colors. And I also told you guys what colors I was painting with before I squirted them out. And give me a minute and I'll pick the bottles back up. Let me get this painted and I'll say them again. You just want them to look fluffy, right? You need a fluffy little bird. You want to use the different colors and go around. And you can kind of overlap, cross over that line. Just depends on how fluffy you want your guy to look. It's the same color. I like to paint kind of in a messy way, not real detailed. And I don't always do that, but for these kind of things, I think it just makes it a little easier, a little less stressful, and more fun. So hopefully We're not stressing you out on this Monday morning. Can you see the detail? Yeah, this Monday morning where Christmas starts. Christmas is in 5 months. That does feel a little stressful. I'll worry about that after I get my kids to school. I told my husband though that we need to start shopping yesterday. Because we don't wait till the last minute. I usually end up waiting until, I don't know, sometime in November. But thanks, Betty. Betty said it was pretty, so thank you, Betty. We usually wait till sometime in November, and then I feel like I have to get it all done immediately. And most of the people around me are like, oh, I don't know, because we always something that we do a lot, or we try to do, is, do you guys draw names? Like, do you guys have a great big family and maybe don't want to buy for every single person because there's like 35 people? Is anybody else in that situation? There's so many of us that, like on all sides of the family at this point, that it's hard. So we try to split it up and do like draw names or have some kind of like fun Christmas game or something like that. What do you guys do? Do you buy for everybody or draw names? This is taking forever. Whose idea was it to paint this? Who told me to? It's taking forever. And you could kind of we could do this and make more wispy line over here. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll speed this up a little bit. But if I do that, then I have to go back in here. So, you can win some free stuff today. Who doesn't like free stuff? And all you have to do is, if you do one of our projects, of course, we would love, love, love for you to take a picture and show us what you made. If you're watching me from Hometown Paints or from YouTube, you're going to have to go over to Facebook to Creatives Coast to Coast and enter your submissions on there to be eligible to win. But you can take a picture of your projects, any of these projects that we did today. You can, what else can you do? You can share like a family tradition. Like I shared a picture earlier and it was just a picture of my tree and my TV because it had Charlie Brown on there, and because we like to make sure to watch all those fun Christmas cartoons like Rudolph, and I have 2 boys and they are teenagers, so really it's just me most of the time. And I'm like, come on, let's watch Rudolph, and they're like, no, I don't want to. I'm not 5 anymore, Mom. And sadly, I know that. All right, does that look like a fluffy flamingo? Okay, so what you can do is add a little of that darker color, like around this area, like the back of his neck and the inside of his neck area. And we're gonna play with this. Just add some little blobs of darker colors. I'm gonna get some white and put a little white in here up at the top. And put a little white. White's drying up. And put a little white around here. And put some up here. Just to add a little something. All right, let's let that dry a little bit and chill out. The next thing I'm going to do is paint this part of his beak. And we're going to use white and a little bit of pink. We want it to be just a really light pink. So I didn't wash my brush out. We're going to follow that line. And fill that in pink. All right. Karen said the coral looks so pretty. Thanks, Karen. I like putting coral in Flamingo, even if in reality it's not there. I just like the way it looks. All right, I'm going to get out some black, and we're going to put the rest of his beak in and the eye, and he'll look a little more like a bird. I'm going to use my little brush. So it's actually a little round brush. It's really small, like really small. And I don't know, I use it as a liner brush. I don't think it is a liner brush, but we don't care. So we're going to do just like Karen, and we're going to put it in our black and like spin it. I think she said that. Maybe she did. I like to hold this like a pencil when I'm trying to do something really detailed. And I usually put my pinky down on the canvas to steady my hand. And I'm just going to outline the eyeball. And then fill it in. Now he's got an eyeball. And I'm going to outline this beak, because I have painted over it a little bit, so I need to like really look at it and see what I'm doing here. But if you use that tracer, I didn't go over it with a Sharpie or anything. It was just a regular tracer. I can keep my hand pretty steady because I'm bracing my hand. I've made my brush into a point. It's just kind of like using a pencil. And then you just fill it in. Easy peasy. And I guess you could use a bigger brush to fill this in, but this one's already got black in it, so we're just going to use this little one. So, looks more like a flamingo already, doesn't it? Let's see. I'm going to have you do one more thing while we have black on our liner brush. We are going to put some lights on our flamingo, just like Karen did on her pineapple. So I want this string of lights to be around the neck. So I'm going to like start above, like right here at the edge, and come out a little bit and then swing down. So it looks like it's going behind his neck. I can't get it on there. It's too big. Sorry. And then I want this to look like it's coming up out from behind him. So this goes around. This, I'm going to scoot over a little bit. And then this one's going to go up and over and back down to the corner. Now, I kind of ran out of paint, but I'm not going to worry about it. I went ahead and followed through with that line. So now I can go back and fill it in with thicker paint. It's already there. We followed through. It's there. We know where it's supposed to go. We can just add some paint. All right, so that's that. We're going to leave that like that for a minute. If yours doesn't look exactly like mine, if that was a little bit difficult for you, it doesn't matter, you guys. It really doesn't matter. Like, it's a string of lights. You could hang it from, like, it doesn't matter. And you don't have to put a string of lights in there if you don't want to, but that's how I did that. All right, I'm going to use this same little brush, and I'm going to dip into my white. Now, I don't know what this is called on the bird, but it needs to be there. It's just white, and it's like two little blobs, two little dashes, two little circles. I don't know. All right, I'm also going to put some white in the eye, put a little dot of white. So I'm going to flip this brush over and use the end of it, not the bristle part, the handle part. My white paint's super thick, so I'm struggling. And you just want to put his eye somewhere in the middle of that black. That looks a little better, doesn't it? All right, so I was painting this and I was like, we need a hat. So this is going to be quick and easy. Make sure you have lots of white. Use that middle-sized brush that I used. And kind of draw a line across there. Wiggly, squiggly, whatever. Think about where you want that hat to be. This is the little white part of the hat. It's kind of a rectangle. I am just going to blob this paint in because we want it to eventually look like it's fuzzy, the fuzzy white part of the hat, right? So lots of paint, just blob it in there. And if your pink's not dry, doesn't matter. Wash that brush out, and then we're gonna grab the red. I told you guys country red. It doesn't really matter. It's just some kind of red that you like. Almost looks pink. I'm going to use that same brush. And this hat will probably end up looking different than my original hat. It's just a Santa hat. So you do this, you know, however you want to do it. If you use a bigger canvas than I did, you can you could make it point up, but it's kind of like you're drawing a Hershey Kiss, and then there's like this long part over there. So fill it in. Get it good and filled in. Now, right here, I need to darken it up a little bit. So I'm going to take just a teeny tiny bit of black, and that might even still be too much, and mix it with that red and just put a little like undershadow right there. And if it's too dark, then just grab some red and kind of blend it. And sometimes I get a little crazy when I add this stuff and just sticking it everywhere. But that helps you see that a little better. All right, wash. Hey, Ray. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to wash that red out of my brush the best I can. Sometimes it's hard. And I'm going to dip back into my white, and I'm going to put a big old puffball down here. So just again, blobbing it in there. It's still got some red in it. I'm not going to stress about it. I feel like it needs to be bigger. Let's make it big. Look in the camera, it looks too small. There we go. What else? Let's do some highlights on the hat. However you want to do that. All right, so that white is still wet, but we will go ahead. You know what? No, we won't. Never mind. Let's get these lights on there. So you can use Karen's method and use the tracer, or I'll just show you how to do it real fast. That is bright green. I've got purple pizzazz. That won't come out. I've got red already. What else did I use? This dark turquoise that, oh, I still have it. Okay. All right, so I'm using my small brush, my little linery brush. No, I use this blue. Sorry, y'all. Monday. This Folk Art Ultramarine blue. It's really bright. I'm just going to draw them on. So they have, I'm starting over here. They have that little part that, I don't know, screws on. And then the light bulb part, to me, it just kind of looks like a football. So that's just what I did. I drew it with my little paintbrush and just filled it in. No big deal, right? The other blue one I put over here. That's a little off, so mine are not the same size, and I'm not going to worry about it. All right, then I'm going to wash my brush out. Hey, Mary Lou. I'm so glad you caught me live. I haven't gone live like a ton of times lately. I've been so busy. I grabbed the turquoise, so we're going to paint the turquoise. Put that little part there and just bring this down, bring that down, and fill it in. Boop, 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 boop. That one doesn't even have a point, so I don't know. You can go back and fix it later. There's one over here. So if you feel like I'm stressing you out right now, use Karen's tracer. Green. Green is right here. I like these bright colors. Oops, I did that wrong. We're just gonna pretend that it's okay. I like these bright colors because they really pop against this pink. Like, I think if I wouldn't have used such bright colors, they would be hard to see. Let's see, there's one over here. When I make that paint stroke, I tend to twist my hand because it's almost the same as painting leaves and flowers. You all know that's my favorite. Wash my brush out. Do purple. It took so much time to paint this darn flamingo. I'm running out of time. So I'm going to go fast, fast, fast. So purple. And there's a purple over here. And that one looks like a leaf. So I'm going to get this done. But once I get this done, Jeannie is coming up after me. And for the life of me right now, I cannot think of her business name. So I apologize. If somebody knows it, just type it in there. Move into red. But we are going to have presenters all day on Creatives Coast to Coast. If you're on Hometown Paints, this is one and done, y'all. I'll be done after this. But if you want to see everybody else's, I'm going to do this one different. Then you need to hop on over to Creatives Coast to Coast. It's what I've been posting about for a few days. So the link, I think, is in the bio or whatever, in the comments. Wash your brush out. I can do this. I can do this. All right, get some white. I'm going to put some highlights on like the side nearest to the top. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going to throw it down. I'm using the smallest brush I have. Just get some white on there. And that is now mixed with red, so let's wipe that off. And then white. And then white. And white. And white. All right. Looking more like Jeannie's palette. Thank you so much, Jeannie. I apologize. Jeannie is with Jeannie's palette. Okay. And quick. I'm going to get some black and just do some little lines up here. So what this is like the little part of the light that like you screw into the string. So you just want a little black up there. So that's what it kind of looks like. And mine's still super wet, so it's a little bit difficult for me to get these in there. But I'm not a quitter, so we're going to do this. I'm not a quitter. Okay. Yes. I feel like I need highlight in the nose. You can go back and add white highlights in any of these areas. But what I want to be sure to do, nope, we're going to highlight this string first. Do some white on the black string. And the last thing we have to do is my favorite part, and it's the glitter. So my favorite glitter is Deco Art Holographic Illusions Crystal Ball. Let's get it up there. This is it, y'all. And we got 5 minutes to get it glittered up. So let's do it. What else do I want to tell you? I'm going to use my medium-sized brush. And I'm just going to blob this glitter in all the white parts of the hat and on my lights so that they look sparkly. I do have another online paint class coming up. It is some cute little mushrooms. If I have time, I'll grab it. That is Friday. So if you enjoyed this, then check that out. I'm doing that Friday. And I also have an online painting membership called the Hometown Creatives. I believe Rebecca from earlier is in it. It's pretty small. There's about 25 people in there, I think. So if you want to learn to paint from the comfort of your home, I hope you will think about joining us. And you can just go to my website, and there's all the information about the cost and all the benefits and all that jazz. If you have any questions, you can ask. So this doesn't look pretty and sparkly, but once you get it dried, y'all, it starts to. What time is it? I'm so good. I got 4 minutes left. I'm going to use my handy dandy dryer. So you could add black around these lights like Karen did on hers, because we basically painted the same light. So if you want to use some of her tips and tricks to add to our little flamingo guy, you definitely can. Especially if you're going to like hang them beside each other and you want them to look like they're in a series. You can be fancy artists. All right, it's starting to dry. That glitter comes out white, but it dries so pretty. I don't know if y'all can see that sparkle. Can y'all see that sparkle? This one's dry, so let's see if you can see the sparkle in that. It's difficult. All right, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me show you what we're painting on Friday. Painting these fun mushrooms. I'm so excited about it. I'd love to have more people join us. You can get to that by going to my website, www.hometownpaints.com. Karen said the glitter paint is awesome. Yes, it's our paint. Yes. So I need to paint Karen so I can hang these up on the wall and then take pictures. All right, I'm going to get off here and leave Jeannie a little bit of time. She's got 2 minutes. If I can make myself stop talking. If you have any questions for me, message me or just comment here and I'll come back and answer them. Make sure you share your photos. Use hashtag CC2C to be entered into the drawing. And I just want to see what you painted. If you paint any of these, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what y'all do. But I'm going to get off here. Stay cool. Have a good Monday. Do something for yourself. I don't know. All that good stuff. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for being here. Bye, everybody.